Leicester City are in the quarter-final of the Champions League. I repeat, Leicester City have made it to the quarter-finals of the Champions League in what was a very good performance last night against one of the most outstanding teams in European competition, in Seville. Seville have won the last 3 Europa Leagues on the trot. San Pauli came in last year, and he's put them third in La Liga. They have players like Samir Nasri, Stefan Nzonzi, Vitolo, who I thought was absolutely outstanding. Vitolo is going to be one of the best Spanish players, one of the best young Spanish players. But the question is, how could Leicester, a team that just sacked their manager, all of a sudden win 3 games in a row, 2 in the Premier League, and the second leg against arguably one of the best teams in European competition, Seville? Did the players stop playing for Claudio Ranieri? Did Claudio Ranieri have a problem with the assistant manager Shakespeare, who is clearly reverted back to Claudio Ranieri's team with the addition of Ndidi to replace N'Golo Kante? Now, for me, this is one of the classic rotten sporting stories that you'll ever come across. A team that is full of average players. Leicester City players are all, I think, League One players, Championship level at best. They were a team that were tipped to go down, even last year. If you recall Claudio Ranieri's press conferences, in almost every single game, he said the target is 40 points. The target is to stay up in the Premiership. They reached 40 points. And then he continued saying, look, the target is to try and finish in a European spot, arguably meaning the Europa League. And they continued winning games, 1-0, 1-0. And they won the Premiership. Now, is that feat likely to be ever repeated? I don't think so. I think Claudio Ranieri's victory, or winning the Premier League, was probably one of the most remarkable sporting stories we'll ever come across. And the man to be sacked after taking a club like Leicester, who are relegation candidates to the Champions League, losing the first game to one of the best teams in Europe, Seville, in Seville, only 2-1, and being denied the opportunity to come back on the second leg and finish the job. Now, all of a sudden, the new coach, Shakespeare, looks remarkable. Everybody is saying he's done a wonderful job. No, this is Claudio Ranieri's win. I think this is Claudio Ranieri's team. Claudio Ranieri is the man who who put Leicester's name on the global map, purely just by being named Leicester manager, let alone his successes in winning the Barclays Premiership. Now, to all Leicester fans and to all fans of football, do they think Leicester City will go on to progress in the quarterfinals? I highly doubt it. Leicester are one of the poorest teams in the quarterfinals of the Champions League. The only test they had this season was Seville and Porto away. They lost Porto away. They lost Seville away. And they managed to beat Seville 2-0 with all credit to their goalkeeper, Kasper Schmeichel, who was outstanding again last night. But how many teams in the Champions League draw on Friday? You'll have the likes of Barcelona, you'll have Real Madrid, you'll have Bayern, you'll have Borussia Dortmund, you'll have Juventus, and you'll have Leicester. And I think Leicester are a very, very poor side. Congratulations on their win last night, but I don't think they'll progress any further. But the shame for me is, and what really, really annoys me, is that this is Claudio Ranieri's team. And this is Ranieri's thank you for winning the Premiership last year. But sadly, he's not around to enjoy the fruits of his work. And finally, where does that leave Sampaoli? I mean, this is a man that's won back-to-back Copa Americas with Chile. This is a coach that's highly regarded, and he's on his way to Barcelona, if the reports are to be believed. But I think Sampaoli now faces a massive, massive question. How could he fail to qualify? And where does that leave the future of Seville? I think Seville have always done tremendously well with managers. You know, they had managers such as, one day Ramos, who won the Europa League. Unai Emery, who's gone on to bigger things at Paris Saint-Germain. Although there's a possibility that Unai Emery will return to Seville, and possibly with the possibility of Arsene Wenger taking over at Paris Saint-Germain, and Sampaoli going to Barcelona. But again, it was one of the most shocking games last night because you had a team such as Seville playing against a typical Premier League team or a typical English team, if I can say that, playing 4-4-2 in a small ground, small pitch, the fans getting right behind the team, squeezing pressing Seville high up, not allowing Seville to pass the ball as they normally would. And is this an indication of how, when you compare styles, I mean, a typical Spanish South American style versus a typical English 4-4-2, and the typical English 4-4-2, long balls, high press wins the day? Is this a platform for the English national team to play? I don't know. But for me, I'm very, very disappointed that Ranieri is not there. Despite this, he's the new manager at Leicester, Shakespeare, winning his last three games, including Seville's game last night. And they will be coming back home, getting knocked out of Europe, probably finishing just above the relegation zone. So let me know your thoughts, what you think, and what's going to happen. All right, Urban Baller, I'm out.